Warning, this video has content that is not safe for work. If you are easily offended, a flat earther, or a subscriber to r/thedonald, please change the video now. But don't forget to subscribe first, okay? For the rest of us, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Being a very popular YouTuber leads me to be very popular with a certain subset of viewers who are constantly hitting me up on my Instagram DMs. By the way, go follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. In fact, I got a hit right now. Let's take a look. Oh boy, please tell me that's just a banana in your pocket, girl. At a bar in Shinjuku, one patron suggested that I should have the waitress set on my face for the good smell. Where to start with a game like Galgun 2? We can start at the basics, at least. Galgun 2 is a rail shooter where you shoot pheromones and girls overcome by demons who are all after your little prepubescent switch. If you couldn't tell, this is by far one of the most shameless, fanservice-y, and absurd games to come out of Japan. And it would be easy to dismiss this title as an eroge, that's slang for erotic game, aka porn. But in reality, Galgun 2 is a well-made, solid arcade shooting game. Galgun 2 is a first-person rail shooter, a poorly timed one at that with all the scandals and stupidity that's happening in the States right now. Movement is very limited. Hell, the character can't even strafe left or right in most situations. The only thing the character can do is lean to the left, lean to the right, and crouch, and that's all you get. The bad guys, the girls possessed by really horny semen demons, flank the player from every direction, doing their best to give us the suck. And apparently that's a bad thing? Well, we don't have any protection. This school is ran by people who think sex education is morally evil, aka the Mike Pence school of thought. But if this was Mike Pence's school, instead of little girls trying to flank us, it'd be little boys trying to flank us. But I am already horrified at the image, so let's just leave it at that. The girl's offensive powers include how can she slap, giving letters, getting stepped in the nuts, hey, that's my fetish, or getting hit by giant flying Japanese characters. Bonus points if you know Japanese, as the lines they be spittin' are straight fire, bruh. They're actually really basic lines, but it's funny seeing them weaponized. I think they're funny. Screw you. Each girl has a weak spot, not unlike the Heaven Smiles back in Killer 7. If Japanese characters appear over a girl's body when aiming at them, that's your turn to strike and score an ecstasy shot for quick disposal of the thirsty girls. Trying to go for only ecstasy shots sounds like a good idea, and it's possible early on in levels when girls are few and far in between, but eventually girls flank the player at all sides, making it really hard to properly aim your shots. In addition, little demons attach themselves to girls, giving them protection, making it harder to go for the easy disposal. When you get down to it, Galgun 2 makes for fairly intense gameplay at times, but nothing insanely overwhelming. It's suck or be sucked out on these streets. I should note that this game can be played using the Joy-Cons to aim, and if you do so, it works really well. Though, as I found out while playing Galgun 2 on the bus, using motion controls on a moving vehicle isn't exactly the best of things to do. Let me tell you something straight. If you're at your mid-20s in Japan making YouTube content, you've already stopped giving a family-friendly flying fuck about what others care about you, and now you're just living life to the fullest. And know what a good way to do that is? By playing Galgun 2 on Nintendo Switch out in public. Sorry everybody, that's just how life works. There are 3 types of stages to take on. The basic get to the end of the stage levels, these are probably my favorites. Defensive levels and hunting levels. Defense levels involve the player defending several lovely ladies from an onslaught of many demons. These can get kinda boring, but it's at its best when you have multiple girls to protect. Bust out the proton pack and bust some demons for massive points. Hunting levels, much like in Sonic Adventure 2, are probably the weakest of the main 3 levels, especially when the objects you must find are smaller than a Switch game cartridge. Also, these levels are on a timer. Also, there are girls and traps patrolling the area that force the player to stop the hunt, to deal with that while the timer doesn't stop. The silver lining is that the pieces never change spots, so dust yourself off and try again. Each of these levels are pretty short, keeping up a very nice pace when things start to get, kinda samey. Okay, upon further inspection of that girl from earlier, that actually was just a banana in her pocket. Why she kept it there? I don't know. Anyway, Galgun 2 does suffer from repetitive gameplay. You're not really fighting different bad guys every level, and even the settings themselves can get kind of samey after a while, but it's really aware of that, much like the game is aware of its own shortcomings in terms of plot and setting, and it tries to mix things up to a reasonably successful degree, in my opinion. Beyond the main story missions, which, if you only focus on that, takes less than an hour to complete, there are many side missions that involve helping the girls of this seemingly girl-only school, and that gets lampshaded, by the way. You help out the girls, you get their number, you call them to the showers, you brave fool, give them food, clean the demons out from them, feel like a pervert, rinse and repeat. There are a good amount of girls to talk with, and a small amount of outfits to dress them up in. It's cute, and the girls all have unique personalities, even though I'm pretty sure the developers only made one body model and reused it over and over again. But for the side missions at least, they beg for an actual dialogue tree to get to know these girls better. Or some more minigames to make the reward of virtual breasts more, well, rewarding. There's one point in the game where you have to give girl next door Chiru a massage, but with your love gun. And that would make for a fun game, but as it turns out, guns aren't exactly the best thing when using to give a massage. Still, the rendezvous games are cute little distractions that act as nice breaks from the main campaign. And as I mentioned, the story mode can be cleared within an hour or so if you are really determined. That might sound like a bad thing, but when you factor in the repetitiveness of gameplay, having a shorter story campaign isn't necessarily a bad thing. But fret not, there are multiple endings based upon which of the main girls, between Risu and Nanako and Chidori, you choose the romance, how well you do in the stages, and other factors that I don't know yet. And that's a good thing, as the standard ending is as satisfying as a place of plain core toast. I bought bread for this joke. And I didn't even bother to put it in the toaster. Like, I don't even eat bread anymore. Like, this is just a waste of money and just bad carbs for me. And at time of recording, I just brushed my teeth, so why would I even bother eating this? So, yeah. Plain core toast. And plain core bread. That's your scene. Now for the elephant in the room, the fan service. Galgun 2 borders on being hentai, with the girls throwing you in provocative situations, and they can easily lose their clothes in gameplay. This chick in particular subscribes to the Moo school of underwear design. However, I will say, in battle, if you choose to suck the girl's clothes off, it does make for easy disposal, but you won't get any points. So I advise against sucking the clothes off. All things said and done, once you get to the most extreme fan service of the game, it isn't that extreme other than the girls in the underwear. Compared to games like Samurai Kagura, Omega Labyrinth Z, or just about anything new that's coming to the Vita these days, Galgun 2 is fairly vanilla. Keep in mind, I live in a country where softcore porn can be purchased at any 7-Eleven. I can't complain about the graphics, it's low polygon, but it's saved by a very strong color palette and very eye-appealing art. The music isn't that amazing, other than the ending theme, but for the style of the game, it fits like a glove. And the voice acting is pretty solid. Most girls sound unique from each other. And the English translation is very snappy with some legit funny dialogue. This here is probably one of my favorite lines. Despite its shortcomings, Galgun 2 was a fun little ride for the Switch. It isn't for everybody, but for those who are willing to give it a shot, a solid action game awaits. Alright, so I had one more person slide into my DMs, but this person had a falling in reverse shirt on, so bye, Felicia. Anyway, Galgun 2, it isn't a very envelope-pushing game, and doesn't really need to be that. It just needed to be a solid arcade shooter that uses its fan service to keep people hooked, just to see what kind of absurdity they can see inside the game on their Nintendo Switch. And for that, I think it's a solid title that I think Switch owners will enjoy if they can look past the anime, if they can look past the fan service, if they can get over the somewhat repetitive gameplay. I'm going to give Galgun 2 a 7 out of 10. This was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it, but I will say this game is not going to be for everybody. And if it's not for you, cool. But if it is for you, I recommend checking it out. On a related note, I am playing the Japanese version, so I don't know if it will be changed at all for the Western or PAL releases when those come out later this month in April. And on a final note, if I offended you this episode, let me just tell you straight up, I don't care. Anyway, I'll see you next week for a new episode of The Z-Man Show. Later, everybody.